Hello there, I'm Vine and today I have for you a build that does justice to criminal heritage. And we have to start with disclaimer. I call this a correct build, but in essence this is just a loose guide to smoothly build and operate criminal holdings in the galaxy. So, if you don't focus on this feature with Criminal Heritage Civic, you can ignore all this video. Now let's look at the Empire Creation tab. Here, to make all the business run smoother, we should pick Fanatic Xenophile ethics. And we are doing it for additional envoys and an opinion bonus that will counteract typical prejudice against Criminal Heritage Civic. Technically, this is not a must-have ethics, but without it we will be quickly #1 enemy of everyone in the galaxy. Only genocidal empires get war's opinion. I know that this is not a tragedy in Stellaris, being universally hated is one of valid ways to play this game, but it shifts your focus from doing business to just doing war over and over again. So, Fanatic Xenophile it is. Rest of the options are optional. You can customize your xenophilic criminals in any way you want. For example, a subversive cult fully compatible with this guide. Now, let's jump into the game and talk about strategy there. Two traditions we need to take: diplomacy and subterfuge. One to have friends and the other to scout the enemies. And Diplomacy 3 have a priority here, as we will need it to get on the good side of empires that we wanna as allies. That's not all from mechanic standpoint, but let's run the show. When you explore the galaxy, initially be friendly to everyone. Use bribery to win them over and don't build criminal holdings on their planets immediately. Then, when you finally know what you're dealing with, choose friends and foes in your sphere of business operations. As friends, you should choose local powerhouses, regardless of ethics, and sign with them defensive pacts, or even form a federation. As your foes, or rather exploitable clients, choose empires that are weaker than your friends or have fanatic pacifist ethics. Always use all envoys to the fullest by improving relations with your friends or spying on your foes. Then build criminal holdings. Scout the planets thanks to your intel or cloaked ships and find if any have substantial population with all building slots occupied. Drop your branch office there. More pops means more potential crime. Moreover, AI as well as some human players are unlikely to replace any buildings on the planet with precinct houses, which means no crime-fighting buildings. Then, remember to build Smuggler's Port and Disinformation Center on every planet. Port is best building for money gain and crime increase. Disinformation Center increases infiltration level and reduces governing ethics attraction, which is extremely useful if your victim didn't invest in anything that increase governing ethics attraction. Pops that not have government ethics are often unhappy, and the more unhappy pops, the more crime they produce. Rest is up to the game, as crime often produces more crime and your branch office starts profiting like crazy. Also, don't worry if one of them gets closed, it can happen once every 10 years. And if it happens, it's your signal to aggressively spread your business to other planets, since there won't be any consequences for doing so. Now, here's the question. Are you allowed to build these branch offices on your friends' planets? Of course not, but since when you need a permission? Build them anyway, crime them to oblivion. Just bear in mind that it decreases your relation with the given empire and you should hold back a little if you still wanna be friends. And basically, that's all. as the rest are details that vary from one specific empire to another. Time for evaluation. In multiplayer, it depends. Playing Criminal Heritage in multi is always like a dice roll. Sometimes you find a player that doesn't mind crime and negotiates with the crime lords. And sometimes you meet someone like me that builds precinct houses by default and launches anti-crime campaign if the crime is above 5%. In single player, it's just business. This guide is mainly for the single player and it's aimed against AI behavioral patterns, so it naturally excels in single. As for roleplay, it's facade. You probably know the type. Good on the front, malicious on the back. You can roleplay as any criminal organization like this from the fiction or real life. Anyway, what do you think about this build? Write your opinion in the comments and remember to check out Community tab to vote on next Stellaris build. See you later!